am I remembering correctly that you were not at Worlds, or were you at Worlds?
Was that Worlds this
Just
last year?
you don't remember? Did you go to the Palms and play at the Worlds?
Chisholm.
It wasn't that
Oh
long
no,
ago.
okay. Chisholm. Oh no, yeah. Worlds was like a month ago. I was thinking a year ago. Chisholm. I don't know what I had for breakfast yesterday, let alone what I did.
First, just one word answer that comes to mind. Danica Patrick.
Is this a word? Infinitesimal,
Teaching.
raging. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God.
We already covered this, but the next to last one was Danica Patrick, and you found it says
On.
raging. We're all going to jail for a long time.
She is a what?
Raging.
Amen.
All right, everyone, welcome back, and thanks for tuning in again. We are in episode number, I forgot to look, I'm embarrassed to say, I think it's number 8, I think.
All right.
But we have awesome and sure to be entertaining episode with my good friend Jade McGillem. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me on. Look forward to it.
Hell yeah, we kind of cross paths a little bit,
Yep.
busy summers and whatnot and schedules, but here we are.
I was lucky enough to hit a first few tournaments of the year. I'm unfortunately able to make it to at least Carolina, working on Florida. Again, I'll be across the country for different soccer tournaments, but I was able to make some FaceTime early on. So
it's busy. Hey, man,
we'll be on that qualifying machine again soon.
Hell yeah, we got to give the fans what they want. They've been asking for you.
I got called out quite a bit on the stream this last time, so we'll see how Brian reports back on me next time. We'll see it out.
All right, well, okay. Well, we'll go to our telltale kind of standard rundown questions. Tell the people who might not be familiar where you are from and where you currently reside.
I'm from Southern Indiana originally. I currently live in Fishers, which most people understand or CS on the machines. It's a northeast suburb of Indianapolis. So I've been in Fishers since 2001, I guess, right out of Ball State University. Just decided not to ever leave. My wife works in the school system here. It's a beautiful city. And actually we've had, I'd say, a couple hundred of our players, brethren, and now sisters who have visited us here in Fishers or just know Fishers from previous tournaments.
Awesome. So is it like, you said it's a suburb of Indianapolis? Is that what you said?
Yeah. It's literally a direct suburb of Indianapolis, not even 5 minutes outside of the loop that goes around Indy. Yep.
Gotcha. Yeah. It's like, I say I'm from Denver, even though I technically live in Centennial, but it's all right. All the same.
But most people know us as Fishers, but it's Indianapolis.
Awesome. Hey, just for a second, you out there, hit that subscribe button, please, right there, and the like. All right, Jade, fire it up. Give me some more. Ball State, is that where David Letterman went?
It is. Yeah, he purchased and put up the big communication building after he graduated and became famous.
Awesome. I just saw a thing on him recently. He was in New York and he got called to jury duty. And when he was being, how they, I don't know if you ever had jury duty, but they ask you all the questions and stuff. And he was like cracking jokes and stuff. It was great. The whole transcript is great. And they ended up, but he didn't try to get out of it or anything. He was just like, it would be an honor to do it.
He was probably bored. I was surprised they
exactly. Right?
He's always at the Indy 500 or the Brickyard 400. He still makes a lot of appearances here in town. The last time I saw him, he had just a massive gray beard. You can't even recognize him. So he probably just gets a kick out of being around people and they don't even know who he is.
He looks borderline homeless.
Right.
Obviously, he's not, but that's his appearance. Yeah.
He's extremely incognito now, which I'm sure he's doing on purpose.
Yeah, but he got voted off like in the last round or something. So he did not get, what's that fancy word, sequestered? Is
Yeah,
that right?
sequestered. Yeah. Well, that's
No,
when they
boy.
go in and
God, I
deliberate.
feel
I
smart.
think, I don't know. You're close enough.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's see. And so what you do for a living, you just alluded to, but you were in real estate. Is that
Yep.
correct?
Yeah, I've been in real estate. I've actually been doing something within real estate for 20, 30 years, finishing basements, building decks, helping people with odds and ends. I own my own interior design company called Nailing It. Most people don't know that.
Ah, that's
But
very
when
cool.
COVID hit, my sales position was kind of extinguished. So I took that opportunity to get my license online through actually like a Zoom class, just like this. So I had the live class, but it was from the seat of my own home, actually right here in this office. So it worked out.
Wow. Oh,
And
that's sweet.
ironically, everything was still shut down. So all of the Indiana testing centers are done at Ivy or there's a university that's got like 70 campuses all across Ivy Tech, all the Ivy Tech campuses. Well, they're all shut down. So I had to drive to an airport hangar in Cincinnati to take my license test. It's
Wow.
a little strange. But I was originally in sales for 20 years. So my network was pretty deep. So real estate was a pretty easy segue for me. And then I've kind of jumped around brokerages or been recruited for specific jobs. But I've found a very, very good home in the real estate world.
And you said you own that company, Nailing It, the interior
Yeah, I
design?
started that probably 7, 8 years ago.
But
So
you
I
did,
do, go ahead.
did I misunderstand that you said that your sales position got eliminated? Wouldn't you be the one eliminating it if
Well,
you
no,
own the
well,
company?
and for Nailing It, it's my own personal. I do board and batten walls and shiplap and all kinds of stuff interior. So it's me and my tools, me, myself, and I. So I can do that
Oh,
anytime. I just don't have the time now with my kids and travel sports. So I've been doing that
oh,
for
gotcha.
years and years and years. From the sales
Ah.
side, one of my old sales jobs that was eliminated. So I took that opportunity when
Oh,
COVID
oh,
hit
I see.
to go into real estate full time.
What
Right, right.
what were you selling?
Alcohol, ironically.
Nice. Yeah. Like
So,
front like 2 bars, like you're a distributor?
So the first 10 years, I sold 2 bars directly: bars, hotels, airports, special event centers, like the track. The 8,500 track was one of my clients.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
I had, when I was at Miller Brewing Company, I had the top 100 bars in Indiana. So I was South Bend to Purdue, a couple of Ball State, all the IU bars, a few in Evansville even, and all of the, I would say, the famous or larger volume bars here in Indiana. So I was on the road a lot. That was a pretty taxing job. It was fun because, I was only 23 years old. Then I got recruited to go over to the liquor side of it where I sold Diageo, but that was to grocery stores and big box like Meijer, Kroger, Costco, Sam's Club, things like that. And that's where
Hey,
I began my love of Rumplements. This episode brought to you by
oh,
Rumplements.
dude. All right. I got a story about Rumplements. When I graduated from college in 93, I moved back to Charlotte and worked for a year. Then came out to Colorado just to be a snowboard bum for 8 months. And I
Can't
ended up
argue with
in
that.
Vail. Yeah. And then ended up in Vail for 10 years. And I was bartending, and the bar that I worked at, we were allowed and kind of encouraged to drink on the job and with the customers.
Oh, yeah.
And
20
so
years of it. I remember.
so but the thing was, like, it was a snowball effect. Like, we went through so much rumple that the distributors would give us extra free bottles.
Oh,
So
yeah.
basically it was like, hey, if you want to drink for free and not, then you're going to drink Rumple. Otherwise,
Right.
you're going to have to pay for it. So you're like, yeah, I'll take Rumple for free, of course. And then, so all the staff was drinking Rumple, which means we were just going through so much of it. We kept getting, more and more free. And so it was
I got a
just a
big guy.
snowball effect.
Yeah.
And then, like, now, like, just the smell of it is like, just,
I got to get back out to
chance.
Vail, apparently. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll get to this, but I met a lot of, I would say a lot of my introductions to my friends in the Golden Tee community have been over a shot of Rumplements.
Oh, fantastic.
They call
Fantastic.
it either the hatred of me bringing it back to them or making them do a shot. Because I'm buying it, I get to say what you drink. That's all my rule.
Oh, man. I remember, I'm sure you have fallen to this before, like where you go somewhere, and it happened to me in Vegas once, and it's like, oh, take Rumpelmist. They're like, we don't have it. And I'm like, oh, and they're like, well, we have peppermint schnapps. I'm like, yeah, why not? And they just like poured like a
Oh yeah.
triple of warm peppermint schnapps, and it's just all I could do not to puke it up. I mean, sure, it's
It's
mint, but
such
it is
a
not the
such a
same.
yeah, such a different viscosity. The flavor profile is different. Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah,
Early on in my liquor career, drinking career, I was a big Goldschlager fan. So a lot of
I was just
people
gonna
make
ask
those
that.
comparisons to Goldschlager, and I don't know. There's a slew of cinnamon liquors before, but the one that always got everybody was the one with the crystals in the bottom. I'm going blank on it right now, but it'll come to me. But it's all cinnamon,
Crystals.
but they're
So
like
not
little
not. Well,
crystals
I
in the
mean,
bottom of the bottle.
well, Goldschlager had those little flakes.
Goldschlager's got the flakes, yeah, but everybody's like, oh, I drank so much of this back when I was young. I can't drink Goldschlager because it's cinnamon, but it's like the best one by far.
Oh, huh. And nowadays, Fireball is so huge.
Yeah, Fireball's the cinnamon, and then now what's taking, at least here, is Screwball, the peanut butter whiskey. So I would say we do a little bit more peanut butter whiskey at Main Event than we do even Rumpel or anything else. The bombs, yeah.
And it tastes like peanut butter. I assume.
It's straight peanut butter. A lot of people will do
Unbelievable.
after shot with cranberry juice, and it tastes like a peanut butter and jelly. Exactly like peanut butter and jelly.
No shit. What's the proof on it? Sounds like it's weak.
It's not as high. I don't think it's as high
Probably
as
70% or 70 proof.
Yeah, it's probably 40%, which 80. These are these are 90 to
regular.
100. So yeah, it's up there. I mean,
That's
it'll get you where you need to go. Trust me.
that's interesting about the peanut butter, because that was a trick. It's not a topic I'm proud of, but hey, it is what it is. Somehow, in all my years, because I don't drink anymore, my doctor said, you got to stop. I said, okay.
I know that conversation's coming.
My liver started tanking. So, but anyway, that's all right. I packed in 30 good years. And, but so somehow I never got a DUI. And
Me either. Knock on wood.
But one of the tricks is trick is a strong word.
Right.
One of the hacks was to carry a little jar of peanut butter in the car, and anytime you got in the car, or if you saw a cop behind you, you just take a finger of that and put it in, because the smell would really helps mask the smell of the alcohol. So I wonder if that peanut butter, whatever you just screwball, I wonder if that has kind of the same effect.
There is no bite. You don't taste alcohol. There's no burn. And I think that's why it gets a little dangerous for people, because they'll just go to 5, 6, 7, polish off, more than they should. And then all of a sudden they're on the floor. It's the new dangerous one. I'll say that.
Yeah. It sounds delicious because I love peanut butter, but
it is.
That'll be one that just won't be able to taste. Yeah.
Yeah. That's MJ and I's go-to now is we'll put back a few of those when we're rolling.
Nice. Well, speaking of real estate, do you, it's probably a ridiculous question, but since I know nothing about it, do you and Paige get together and talk shop?
Actually, early on we did. She had a couple questions about a previous company I worked for. So I think it was just a couple weeks before one of the tournaments, maybe Nashville, and I went up and I talked to her and kind of touched base on what we were doing, because it was a national company. So I kind of filled her in on a little bit of what we were really all about, because it was starting to leak into her market. But since, I like all of her posts of her pendings and her solds or closed and stuff like that, she does the same.
Yeah. One of the reasons that I wanted to get you on the podcast was when I first met you, and well, before I met you, when I was at the same tournament and I saw you across the room, and like when I was in high school, I was not shy. Shy is the wrong word, but I wasn't really outgoing. I wasn't in the cool kid. I played soccer, so we weren't the cool kids were the football kids. I was the middle level. We wouldn't get kicked out of the cool kids parties, but we could, we would also hang out with the nerdy kids. Yeah.
Right.
So anyway, I was like, Jade's the type of guy that in high school I would have seen, and he would have been like, just entertaining everyone. And there'd be like 5 guys around, like giving him high fives as he said everything funny. And there'd be a gaggle of girls just falling over every word. And I'd be like, dude, I got to be friends with that guy. But of course I would never have I'd be too nervous to go talk to you. But I remember seeing, I don't remember what tournament it was. I don't know, one of them, but I just sensed you from across the room. You
Probably
were,
heard me.
doing your thing, da da da.
Yeah.
And
Probably
I
heard
turned
me
to,
more than anything.
I took one look from across the room, and I said to myself, I got to get to know that guy. I got to find out what he's about. He looks fucking awesome. And
Ironically, I was pretty quiet in high school. I was a soccer player. I had one girlfriend for 3 years, so I kind of the opposite of what you thought. But then senior year, kind of changed that tune, and then yeah, kind of exploded onto the social scene. And then Ball State being a party school, that's pretty much all we did. And my wife went to IU. Actually, her diploma was right behind me. So
nice.
I was back and forth between the two party schools of Indiana. So that was my social building era. And then, working in bars for the next 10 years after college.
Yeah, that'll
just
do it too.
amplified it even more.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, staying in alcohol even after getting out of the bars has just always kind of been the stigma of me. And I know I take some things too far. My friends get on me about it all the time. But yeah, I'm gonna make sure you're having a good time wherever we are.
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
Or
Hell
I'm
yeah.
gonna die trying.
I feel like that there's I don't know this for at all, but I kind of, if I had to bet, I would bet that there's a lot of people, maybe not a lot, but probably a good number of people that are on the tour that are going around, to a lot of the tournaments, and that obviously know you, but maybe haven't spent that much time with you just because they're like, oh, dude, I don't know. He's he's up here and I'm down here,
Right.
and but you're like super fucking cool, like we started shooting the shit, away from the Golden Tee game, and we just hit it off for, right
yeah, we
away,
were just hanging
man.
out
Like,
for a one time, and then I think the next tournament we ended up qualifying together just from dumb luck. So we got to spend a lot of time together, like 2 tournaments in a row.
yeah.
But I want to touch on that point. So, early on when I didn't know anybody, I went to my very first tournament on the south side of Indianapolis here through my operator. And when I walked in, the very first 2 guys I'd met are Greg Kinsler and Todd Bacon. And I knew MJ, obviously, some of the local guys, and they weren't there yet. So I just walked in and they introduced themselves, and I was like, wow, these guys are awesome. I didn't know any of the player names. I wasn't really playing for money at the time.
Yeah.
So I just really stuck to them, and then we become good friends. I mean, since that date, and that's probably been 7, 8 years ago. So I just told myself from here on out, if I don't know you, and if I'm not beelining it to Sobel's table or the bar, I'm going to try to introduce myself to every single person that I know.
Yeah.
If you don't see me on a stream, which, up until maybe 2 years ago, I wasn't really on stream that much. Not many people associate Point Whor to Jake. So a lot of people you're Point Whor or whatever.
Yes,
so
yeah.
So obviously, Ben and I are probably the 2 tallest guys out there, so they see us, but they don't know who we are. So I introduce myself to try to introduce myself to everybody. Stop and say, hey, where are you from? It's hard for me to remember all the names, the first time I meet you, so I might introduce myself again to the same person. But I get it after a couple of times.
Yeah. I'm the same way with names. I had to hear it 3 times because everyone remembers my name because it's so fucking weird.
Well, both of us. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, everyone in the community is so cool and like extremely cool. And I was on I think Golden Blab was probably before your time, wasn't it? The Underdog Sports. It was the original message board. And so I knew people from there, but I didn't know anyone in person, and or very few. And I went to the PCC2 in St. Louis. I think that was 2008 or something like that. And I remember, and I literally, like, I didn't know. I went. I don't know if I knew anyone except for a couple of guys from Colorado, but I remember, just meeting so many people. And then I remember, sometime like towards the finals, and there was a whole bunch of people watching, and of course I knew who Mouth was, but I'd never met him, and he was just sitting in a chair, and I walked up and I was like, hey, Mark, I just wanted to introduce myself. I was like, my name's Chisholm, and he turned and he looked at me and he goes, Chisholm Woodson, right? Chisholm Woodson?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. And he just knew it for the board, and I was like, yeah, it's nice to meet you. And he was like, the pleasure's mine. He was like very genuine. He gets his rap from being loud and stuff, but he was just real cool. And I was like, dude, this is a Yeah, it's just a genuinely cool. Even though there's a complete different mix of different personalities,
Right.
they all they all bond together.
I'll
No,
never
it's
forget when he met my dad in Evansville, Indiana, where I'm originally from. We had a tournament there, and he hit it off with my dad. Now every time I see him, he wants to take a picture and send it to my dad and say, "Hey." I mean, this goes back 6 years ago, so
oh
it's
yeah.
pretty wild. But yeah,
I found out that you are big into doing sports and stuff with your kids or for your kids, or you coach. Is that correct?
I coached up until my son was made to go to travel because he became too competitive for the rec league. So they pushed him into travel. And then at the travel level, you have to be a full-time coach and have, education and training and background checks and so on and so forth. So I took a step back. He was probably 6, 7 at the time. And then by the time he was there, my daughter was already in middle school. She was a pretty high level volleyball player. She played for the school for the last 3 years, which was local. Local Indianapolis area. And then with Jace, we're anywhere from Arizona to Pittsburgh to
And what sport is
Florida
that?
to soccer. Yeah, we're
Oh,
all soccer.
soccer, right on.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
nice.
He's been soccer since day one. He played basketball in the winter just for fun. But we're 365 days a year outdoor soccer.
I
So
have
we
what?
we just we just booked a trip to Florida. Ironically, that's why I wasn't at Big Gun Little Gun last year, because that's the same end of the year tournament in Florida for him, which the same exact schedule this year. So I'm trying to play opposites with the wife and seeing who can go. But yeah, that's the majority of my conflict is travel soccer.
Awesome. How long have you been playing GT?
I was going to get to that. So I think you said something about 2006 was a tournament you were at.
Yeah.
I probably played my first game in 2007. I was just in one of my local bars, calling on them, getting orders and stuff, selling some deals. And the guy that got to know me, because I was in there every few days, they said, "Hey, Jade, come over here and buy us a beer." And I was like, "Oh, I'm going to buy you beer." But they were like, "You got to play a game of Golden Tee with us." So I was like, "I don't have time for that shit." You know what I mean? I've never really been a video game
Yeah,
guy. Obviously I've
yeah,
got the
yeah,
energy. It's
yeah.
hard for me to
You nerds, you
it's
nerds.
hard to get me locked into something for a long period of time because I'm on the go so much. So I ended up playing it and having a good time, having a couple beers with these guys. And then I saw them again, the next week and then the next week. And then before, not too many months later, I was starting to hit 20s and these guys are shooting 11s, 12s, thinking they were the king shit. I was like, wow, this is kind of fun. So,
Yeah.
this is back when I think my ball was the Maniac or something, the
Oh, good
Maniacs.
gracious.
Yeah, like 2007, it was what I just originally fell on. And then I went to Barrage when that came out. But I was probably playing 10 rounds a month, like just casually with a group of people. I didn't
And
really start.
who was the person who took you to, like, who did you learn from and say, oh, that's how you do that?
Honestly, I didn't learn from anybody back then. And Steve Bailey.
Yeah.
Steve Bailey would be, and Chris Gooden. Chris Gooden, Steve Bailey would be the only two that go back to my original days, the first time I ever touched a track. And then we just kind of started playing more and more. Like I said, we started off 10 rounds a month, maybe then we get to 15. Then we started all kind of get pretty good. And then we started to get recruited by different operators in the area. Because, MJ and Kavanaugh and, what's my boy, Rodney, Hot Rod?
Oh, yeah.
Rodney, he
Yeah,
was
yeah.
actually at the last tournament. So Rodney, those guys from Broadway. Oh, and I can't forget Brandon Burnell. All my guys from Broadpool started kind of recognizing that there's this new little group of players in Castleton, which is northeast side of Indianapolis by Fishers. And so we started kind of intertwining and playing some games. And then different operators were reaching out and saying, "Hey, come over here. We'll start giving you kickbacks, or there's contests." And the more I started playing, the more of those contests Goody and I started winning. And then it just became an obsession. And then I would say less than 3 years after I started playing, I was up to 250 plus a month.
Oh, nice. And what's the kickback program, if you're allowed to say? I don't know why you wouldn't be.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't mind. We
Yeah.
tell everybody. I mean, every time we're at tournaments, when I start drinking, my mouth doesn't shut up. You know that. But I would say when COVID hit, it kind of shut everything down. We backed it off a little bit, which I can't blame them. But I wish I could share my screen. I could show you, but I know it's $2 a game back if you hit 150 games. 250 at
That's easy.
Yeah. It's just increments. But then we
Oh,
also got.
What's it max out at?
I think $3 back a game is our
It,
max,
set at
and
$5,
that's it.
obviously, right?
Yeah, we're 5.
Yeah.
But on top of that, our operator partnered with the bar and Fishers we play at, and we get kickbacks to the bar. So we get 50 cents back a game for every game we play in bar cards. So,
Oh,
we rarely
fucking
have
A.
bar tabs. Yeah, we won't have bar tabs for food, liquor, whatever for
Holy shit.
6, 7 weeks at a time when we get those, because we get them like 2 or 3 months at a time. We get these big bulks of
What is,
gift
what
cards.
is the, what is the bar doing? Like, how are they
Well,
making money off
keep
you
in mind,
guys?
I mean, you've seen our pictures. I mean, there's,
Oh, well,
uh,
you're spending more than,
well,
yeah,
yeah. I mean, our
yeah,
group is enormous. There's probably
yeah.
12 players, of which 10 are very consistent. And then there's a handful of girlfriends, wives, novice guys that come around every so often. So, yeah, I mean, we're a pretty large group. So
And
they get their money. They're just giving a little bit back to us
so
to
you
keep us in
guys,
that bar.
so the Fisher guys, are you guys all kind of centrally located in one bar, or is it spread out?
No, we're all in there. So our operator, Jason Kendrick, kudos to Jason. He's got 3 or 4, probably 4 or 5 bars in Fishers, but Main Event is our main local place where we all converge.
And
But
how
I'm
many
kind of,
machines?
I'm right. We did have 5. Now we're down to 3.
Oh,
Um,
tough
but I'm
times.
right in the middle. I'm 5 minutes in any direction of 4 of the bars of Jason. So I can play on any of his, get that kickback. But I primarily play at Main Event because it's on my way home from work. It's where we get the bar kickbacks. And I know most of the time after 3 o'clock, I'm going to walk in and I'm going to see one of the crew there. So we
That's
always
awesome. That's
do
awesome.
some shots, get a bucket of beer. We
I
have
am
our gambling game.
screen names. I love Point Whor. How did you come up with that?
I wish I could take credit. So let's go back to 2007, 2008, 2009 when Bailey, Chris Gooden and myself and a couple other guys, we used to play. We had 2 machines. Well, any given game, a different player would win, be a stroke ahead or whatever, but I always won points
Yeah.
until Brandon Eby showed up at the next bar we went to. I was winning in points. So Chris Gooden, just one time he was in his drunken stupor, he goes, "You fucking point whore." And I was like, "That's a pretty good handle. Let's see if it'll fit." So I just
Yeah,
had to
yeah,
leave off. I just had to leave off the E because it wouldn't allow the E to come in there. So I
yeah.
became point whore in circa 2009, and I've never changed it, with the exception of when we had ESPN come to Worlds, and we got
Oh,
no we got notice of anybody who had an offensive name that could be seen on the cast or the televised event. We had to change our name, so I went to Point Horror as the Horror movie. So I just changed it to like a HORROR.
Horror, Point Horror. Oh,
Yeah, Point
gotcha.
Horror
Yeah,
as
yeah.
in a
Oh,
horror movie.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I moved it to that just so you knew who I was on the screen, even though if you didn't know me.
yeah,
Yeah, 'cause back
yeah,
then, I mean, that was my second world, so I still wasn't really a
yeah.
regular on the scene. You know what I mean?
Now you were talking about recently being on the stream, and let's see if I remember correctly, or if I know correctly, Florida was last year was your highest finish at third,
Yeah,
or 2 years
I got
ago.
I got third
Or,
place a year ago,
yeah,
Florida. So what, 2023? Yeah. So that was a good
yeah,
run, and I was kind of solo down there. It was me, Mike Kinney, and Damian Sullivan, the 2 Broader guys. And I mean, maybe 5 minutes that entire weekend we were at the same spot talking and catching up with how you doing, where your scores at, and then I was just kind of lost in shuffle with kind of everybody.
yeah,
And it was one of those I never thought I didn't really think I was going to make the cut. I was qualifying with Gary Sheldon in the far corner machine tucked away, and I had one blow up hole, and I thought, well, that's it. There goes my chance to make the cut, and I didn't make it by
yeah,
1, and then I got third place.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's just kind of an unbelievable run, and they're like, Jade's on a podium, like what the hell's going on? Well, then I had to leave. I left pretty early, like 9 o'clock, because I had to Uber up to the airport because I had like a 5:55 flight home. And then here I'm leaving. Oh, and then Tick bought me on the Calcutta. So I bought half myself. So here I am going through the airport with this gangster roll of cash, like this big, more money I've ever walked around with in my life, going, what am I doing with all of this? Are they going to let me through the airport? I only have a backpack on my bag, or a backpack on my back, and all this money. I'm like, I'm getting stopped at security. I'm hungover, but no, it worked out. But yeah, last year Florida was my podium.
And then St. Louis, you're a top qualifier.
And yeah, St. Louis top qualifier this year. That was wild. And then if you call it podium, a lot of people ask me why fourth is podium, and my only answer to that is because it's a standalone position from a cash perspective. Is that right? Because 5, 6 is split, so. 7, 8 is split, but they call fourth,
and you get in the pitcher group.
Correct. Yeah. So and then I got fourth. Where was I? Where was it? Fourth. Maybe I was in fourth somewhere. I just got 5, 6 in the last one I was at. That's what it was. So that's where that MJ and I were fighting to get to fourth. That's what it was. So I've got one podium to my name, and then 5, 6, a couple 7, 8s, but that's my claim.
A little claim to fame of mine now, especially with all your success, is I am undefeated against you. 1-0.
Yes, you are.
1-0.
Yeah, I knew that was coming up.
Well, you know what? In all seriousness, you did something during that match that I took. I have incorporated as a mantra, so to speak. So for the people at home, we were playing on, I think it was Easter. We went to extras, and then somewhere early on, you went aggressive towards the hole and ended up in a deep trap, and I just put it in the fat of the green and made the putt.
Right.
So anyway, that's how it went. And afterwards, so I'm a competitive person. I'm not going to scream and yell and throw it, but inside I'm just like,
you're dying.
I hate losing, but it makes winning feel that much better. But so when you went in the trap, and then you missed your chip, and as you shook my hand and you said, there was no air of like, oh, you got lucky, you little fucker. You just shook your hand. You just shook your hand, and then you shook my hand, and then you said, I'm so disappointed in myself. And it was very genuine, but it wasn't like well, I don't know how you meant it, but the way it came across, it was very genuine, like, just kind of like really disappointed in myself. And so now, like, when I'm in a match and I make a mistake, like, I'll just say in my head, I'll just go, I'm really disappointed in myself. Instead of going, fuck, what the fuck are you doing? Like beating myself up, I just kind of breathe it out, and it helps me relax for the rest of the round. Now, after the round's over and I lose.
I probably have a little bit of both internally, but I try to keep it somewhat calm. Now, I'm going to tell a story here a little bit. You probably already know about it, but I try to be as very humble as possible, win or lose at the end of a match. It's just, it's still a video game at the end of the day, right?
Yeah. It's been a topic of conversation in general in Golden Tee, or on peg events, and and I have a different view than other people. There are some people that can be pretty vocal about how they think it's disrespectful to do any kind of celebrating when you hit a good shot or win a match. I am completely the opposite. As long as you're not like it, for me, as long as I don't see someone like rubbing it in someone's face. But you look at any sport. I mean, you look at, I know it's a video game versus golf. You look at golf, like or a tennis player. It's any sport that's you're not playing for a city,
an individual sport.
You're playing, individual sport. And they pump and and no one says a word. You're not like, oh, he's being disrespectful when a tennis player, hits a great passing shot at set point, and they're celebrating and going like that. Everyone's like, oh, well, boy, how no, come on. It's raw emotion. You're cheering for him. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that in our game, in our silly little game. I don't care who it is, any Golden Tee player, if they, hold out a shot, whether it's on the 18th or if it's anywhere, and I don't care if they jump in the air and do a cartwheel. I'm not offended. I'm like, dude, great shot, man. I wish you hadn't made it, but good shot.
Right. My fist is always out. I say good shot. If I'm down 3 strokes or I'm up 3 strokes, I'm telling you good shot, because I'm sure it was a good shot. You know what I mean? I'm just not a fake person in the fact that I'm going to, below you because you're a better Golden Tee player. It's a good shot. I'm gonna say great shot, and then I'm gonna go about my business. You know what I mean? I don't idolize anybody because they're good Golden Tee players. I respect the game, and I go about having fun doing it.
And on the same token, even though I that's my view, the people who have the opposite view, that doesn't make them a bad person. It just makes them have a different view on it. So I don't care but if any of those people are watching this and I'm playing against you and I hole out on you at 18, I guarantee I'm gonna pump my fist, but not in your face. But I'm still gonna celebrate because I'm fucking happy.
As long as you turn around your opponent, as long as you turn around your opponent, is it right there in front of your face? Pump that fist.
Yeah, turn around, suck it.
Right. Well, here I'm 6'5" and I jumped in the air and just about took out my boy. I was like, oh shit. So I felt pretty bad about that.
Do you play real golf? Or golf, I should call it, not real golf.
A little bit more now that I'm in real estate. Real estate oftentimes will give you the flexibility to go out during the day. A lot of my business is done from 4 to 8, 4 to 9 o'clock at night. I'm in a little bit different real estate. I actually represent a builder. We build new construction, duplexes for investors. So I have a lot of appointments in the morning, kind of giving tours or build site, what do you call them, like FaceTime videos. I'll virtually walk people through our models and stuff because all of our investors are in Hawaii, California, Florida. Anyway, so a lot of my job can be done wherever. I never leave the house without my computer and my phone. I've got a backpack on me at the golf course. If I have to whip it out, send a few documents, I do it all the time. But Dwight and MJ and I have played more golf in the last month and a half than I've played in 2 years.
What's your handicap?
We play outings. So if I were to give a true handicap, I'm anywhere from 12 to 14, somewhere in there. Strong. If I were playing a lot. Yeah. But we play outings, so we're doing shots every other hole. You're swinging as hard as you can because
I don't know what an outing is. It sounds fun as hell, but
like a scramble. So you're just swinging. Yeah. We're playing scramble, so you don't really keep your own personal score. You're just having a good time and swinging. But Dwight's like, I gotta believe he's a 4, maybe a 3. So it's like we're just having fun, and he's just cleaning it all up.
Kavanaugh's like scratch, right?
Oh yeah, Kavanaugh's very, very good. I haven't played with him in years, but as a dentist, he doesn't have the ability to go play during the day like we do. So Dwight has us out to all these outings because his company represented him get invited to all these things. So he has to fill it with bodies, and we just happen to be available.
Do you go play during the Golden Tee tournaments?
We played in St. Louis last year. We got over there early enough. We were able to play with a pretty good group of players. I think I was playing with Kelly Ambrose, so I got to really know him that day. Now, obviously, Chopper was out there, Sobel, and a lot of the St. Louis crew, but I played with Kelly Ambrose. And I would like to play more, but it's hard for me to get my sticks anywhere that isn't really close.
Yeah. It sucks playing with rented ones, too.
Well, yeah. My clubs are extended, so they're longer than traditional. So I just to go to that would just feel weird for a few holes. And it's like, all right. But more importantly is I don't get down on Fridays that much anymore. We'll come like Friday night to be there for Saturday morning, play Saturday, Sunday, and then we leave just because of my schedule and kids and everything. So these long 4-day tournaments leaving Monday are kind of in the past for me for the foreseeable future, or for the near future, I should say.
I remember last year you guys had what seemed like a funny road trip down to the Clash. Who was it? Like MJ was just like hammered like the whole time.
Oh God! So I rent this minivan because it was MJ, myself, Bailey, and Shelly, his girlfriend, and then CJ Not4 and Jen Not4. Do you know the Not4s?
Yes, but no. Yeah,
they're like the biggest part of our family. They're kind of the matriarch of our group, and CJ likes to play. He's just not at the higher level, so he just likes to go to tournaments to have fun. So we were at this van, and MJ bartends, or he drinks until 4 a.m. when he's not bartending, and he stays at CJ's because CJ lives less than a mile from the venue. So he had crashed there. Well, Bailey and I, Shelly, we all show up, and he had been asleep on the couch for, 45 minutes. And so Bailey's like, hey, wake up, it's time to go. He was like, I'll be ready in 20 minutes. I was like, ready in 20 minutes? You're ready to get your ass up and get the van. Let's go. He goes, I'll be ready. Then he says something like, I'll be ready in an hour. Bailey will have to put the pieces together because I was outside with CJ. So anyway, it took forever to get this guy away. He gets in the van. He's absolutely hammered. I mean, he's 0.25 all day long. It's not even light inside. It's probably 7 in the morning. It's not even light out. And everybody's kind of tired. No one has coffee. They're gonna like go back to sleep while I'm driving to Carolina, right? He immediately turns the radio all the way up and starts blaring every one hit wonder from 1978 to 1990. And so we were like, all right, well, there's no rest in this trip now. So we just all got into the rhythm, got into the attitude, and we karaoke'd a minimum of 9.5 straight hours minus a stop at Buc-ee's.
It's either fantastic or horrible or a combination of both.
We were from singing and laughing. All of our stomachs hurt. I'm sweating. I was laughing so hard, but we stopped at Buc-ee's and then we got there. And then it was just melee because it was our very first time to clash. And I had promised Gino, I think I'd promised Gino 3 years prior, I will make it. Finally had a clear weekend. And so we rented this van and it started off hilariously and it just got better and better and better. It was an awesome trip, and I will be back. I just can't do it this year.
Oh, that sucks.
So for everybody that does watch this, I will not be there. I'll be on stream as I'm driving back from Cleveland at the moment, or at the time I'll be driving back from Cleveland, watching it on the dashboard. So
there was a funny story that I remember from that when I was hanging out with you at that table by the front window.
Yeah.
And
the
you just got done with the match, and you were like, "Oh, fucking Arrington, motherfucker! We're a whole one of Pacific."
Extras.
He goes,
on
extras. He goes, he makes 85-yard chush. 85 fucking yards? Who chushes 85 yards? I don't chush. I don't have that bullshit shot. He made 85 yards, and he's just going, or you were just going nuts, and I'm just laughing and laughing. And I'm also really curious about this 85-yard chush. And so you were eventually gone, and then Mike comes down, he sits down, and I was like,
it was probably 20 if I were to guess.
I was like, Jade told me about your 85-yard chush, and he was like, what? Jesus Christ. And he pulls out his phone and goes, look, and it says like 3,700 points. He goes, it was 37 yards.
But so I see Bryce Leppick does these chushes all the time with, I don't know, just 5 or 6 different clubs. And it's like, again, nothing I ever learned. I don't know how to, I know how to do it. I just never tried to do it. And then I go to extras at Arrington, who we'd never played before. And he gets him on this stupidly long chush with like a 6-wood or something. I don't know what it was. I'm like, damn it. And but again, I was very cordial. I was like, nice shot. I walked away. Then my cussing begins, and then the fireball shots let in, and then I'm telling the story, and it went. Yeah. I think every time I told the story, the length of shush probably got longer and longer and longer away, because that's just what happens when fireball sets in. So,
and now I have this written down. This is from the same conversation, or at the same table. Well, different conversation, but sitting at the same table, and it was a conversation, and I'm not gonna go straight to the punchline part, but and I don't remember all the details, but something about there's a relative of yours, an in-law or something, who has something to do with NASCAR.
Oh yeah. Boy, we got way off on that tangent. So so a lot of everybody around here knows that my sister-in-law, my wife's sister, has been in racing since 2005. So she was a marketing rep for the Red Bull IndyCar team. So, she dated Scott Dixon. She kind of ran around with a lot of race car drivers. I had multiple friends that were IndyCar drivers. Some things went south with that relationship, and she ended up moving over to the Red Bull NASCAR team, which took her to Charlotte, North Carolina, the north side of Charlotte in Lake Norman. And then
that's
she
started in Charlotte.
Right. So so Lake Norman, they live now in Davidson. They can walk on to Davidson College where they are.
We used to have a lake condo right off that exit when I was, in high school and stuff.
So
now
they've
it's
been
all
there for
NASCAR mansions. But
they've been there for years. I mean, their 2 daughters are my kids' age. They're 15 and 13 too. So this is going back. But she dated some NASCAR drivers, and then can't remember how she got involved with this group, But anyway, she married Josh Wise. Well, Josh Wise at that time was Danica Patrick's partner and raced for Junior Motorsports. He drove the GoDaddy car with Danica. So when Danica couldn't make it because of conflicts, he was driving the GoDaddy car. So I got to be, I don't know if you know much about NASCAR or not, but like every once in a while I'd get to go in his pits and I'd be his cherry popper, the guy with the long pole that holds it out over and they come and hit it for their pit stops. So every once in a while I would be the guy holding his pole out. So he comes driving in and hits it. Then his pit crew does all the tire changing. But so, yeah, I don't know how we got on NASCAR, but yeah, my brother-in-law is a ex NASCAR driver. Now he trains all of Team Penske, all the big drivers. He's their trainer and dietitian and stuff there in Lake Norman.
Well, the funny part is that in this state that you were in, I'd asked about I asked about the other NASCAR drivers that you had met and if they were cool. And when Danica's name came up,
so many of them. Oh yeah. She is not. What can I say on this podcast?
You can say anything you want. You can say this is not part of IT's. Yeah. Go ahead. Let it flow.
I'm gonna choose to tell that story offline by asks, but she is not a nice person. Let's say that. Entitlement is a motherfucker.
Yeah. You're like that is the biggest.
Yeah, I mean, she's about this big, and she just comes out and she just starts talking to people like they're garbage, and I'm like, who the fuck are you? Yeah, and so our relationship didn't start off very well.
If I remember right, I think you said that she walked up and like she was there was a group of you, and then you were standing next to your sister-in-law. Or her husband or something.
Yeah, probably Josh.
Yeah. And that Danica turned and looked at you and went, and just like in third person went, who is this guy?
Exactly.
Or something.
Like,
you're like,
right
what?
fucking here. Yeah. I mean, my brother-in-law stands about like right here. So I'm like, bigger guy. And you know how the haulers all line up, right? So all their haulers and RVs line up. Well, their RVs were next to each other. So the doors face each other. So their awnings were out. So we're outside their RVs and the awnings are out, and we're just out in lawn chairs, watching TV, drinking a couple beers. And she comes out of her side of the hauler with some other people. And I stood up because we're moving stuff around. And she literally walks over and says, yeah, who is this guy? I was like, you can just introduce yourself, you fucking bitch. But yeah, I mean, my wife's only 5'2", and I bet she's not even that. I mean, she's probably like right here. Little bitty thing. I was like, you can just introduce yourself to people. You know what I mean? So she rubbed me the wrong way, but I'll go backwards of probably a good amount of years. I'd say 6-7 years. Right after she moved there, she started dating and hanging out with Casey Kane. The first young partier, good looking kid that kind of brought NASCAR into this. Oh, we're not just old men, in Charlotte.
Yeah.
We go to his house and, we had never heard of these things before, but his entire house had a brain to it where he controlled it all with this little touch screen. I mean, we're talking like early 2000s.
Before it was
probably about 2007, And he's like controlling all this stuff and his blind. I mean, we're a multi-million-dollar house. I mean, his RV was $2 million. So we're out in the hot tub, drinking beer, and a helicopter lifts off from the neighboring house and flies overhead. I mean, I could have thrown a golf ball at this helicopter. I mean, 50 feet in the air. And he goes, there goes Rusty Wallace. I'm like, holy shit, this is a whole nother life, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, but I'm young too. I'm a partier. I'm older than him. And this is 2007. I was probably 20. I was 28 years old. So I'm a beer salesman, party my ass off. And he's like, hey, let's go in the bar. I was like, okay. So we leave the girls in the hot tub. We start going into his bar and start bonging beer. So Casey's like 23 years old. So we're bonging beer with NASCAR drivers. And here's the worst part. I don't have any digital pictures of this. It's all like printed pictures because we don't have digital cameras back. So I got to go dig into all this shit for me. Right. So I'm holding this bong with my arm around Casey Kane and a picture somewhere in this house. From years and years and years ago.
When you and I the first time we ever talked, I remember what I talked to you about. I walked up and I said, I am sure you have heard this before, but has anyone ever told you you look like the guy from Scream?
Yeah. Back when I was a little thinner in the face, I looked exactly like Matthew Lillard. From I would say right after Scream came out all the way through 2010, everywhere I went, if there was a social engagement, people would come up to me. Mostly girls would say, "My God, you look like the guy from Scream. Are you?" I mean, people would ask me if I was the guy from Scream. I was like,
Yeah, yeah,
"No."
for sure. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but I think
You
my
didn't ever play that
mannerisms
card.
yeah,
You didn't. You
no.
didn't even act like you were him, like in some
Chisholm,
other
I got
city.
enough problems. I don't need I don't need that shit coming with me. I really, so even, I mean, I've been at national conventions with Miller Brewing Company in Vegas, where, I mean, you're talking 3,000 reps, managers, district managers, and we had a doppelganger contest, and I was in the top 10 with Matthew Lip.
Yes.
I mean, it was that evident back then. As I got older and little baggier and a little thicker face, it's kind of gone away. But
Well,
yeah,
he's looking a little older
well, he's older than
himself.
me now. I mean, he's more gray than I am, but yeah, I guess he's probably in his early 50s, late. I mean, I'm 45, so he's got to be at least he's
He
50,
was in some
51 maybe.
show relatively recently, like within the last year or two that my wife and I watched, and I can't remember what it was. Do you remember like something he's been like either on Hulu or Netflix? It wasn't. I don't think it was a movie. I think it was a series.
I'm
I
actually
could
going
be
to look it
wrong.
up because I'm not real sure. It's one of those things. It's like I've been pegged with it all my life. So if something comes out and he's in it, like I find myself having to watch it just to see what other people see. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Because I feel like I know what I look like, and people have always said that. And I'm like, I don't really see it. But then I'll see pictures of him, and I'm like, oh my God, all right. You know, it's just it's different. But I'll find myself
yeah,
wanting to watch things just because I've been told I look like the guys for
yeah,
20
yeah.
years.
Well, for sure.
Well, I should more
Just
than that. It's been 20. Well, Scream was what, 1995, 96. So yeah,
shit, come on. Uh,
20 years.
this girl that I dated,
Boy,
for
yeah.
7 years. She had 3 kids. The middle one was a daughter. She's now 25, and just recently, like sometime this summer, she put something on Facebook, like a vote, who's hotter, and it was a picture. It was a picture of Matthew Lillard and from Scream, and then the other one, the kid who was turned out to be a bad kid,
Yeah,
but
Stu, whatever Stu
with the
was.
longer
Yeah.
hair, with the
Yeah,
longer
yeah, yeah.
hair. Yeah. And it was like, which one's hotter? And she was like, oh, by far, Matthew Lillard. And that's how I was like, my friend. I was like, there's
I
pictures of
know a
him.
guy.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
It just, yeah, back in high school and early college, I was just so skinny, and I mean, I'm like 235 now, but I mean, probably 35, 40 pounds lighter than I am now. And it's like, even my mannerisms just look like him. So there was just
Yeah,
nothing I could
yeah,
do. So
yeah, yeah.
I just kind of, I didn't go along with it, but I was like, yeah, I've been told, do you want a picture? And then I move on. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah,
take a
yeah, yeah.
picture and then move on. I want to
Yeah,
get back
leave
to
me
my
alone.
group or friend. Uh, but no, it had been a long time. Yeah, I bet it's been 6 or 7 years. And then I would say more than 5 times in the last few months or a year, I've been asked that. I'm like, really? I just don't see it
Yeah,
anymore.
you're still getting it.
I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
randomly in this last year, and even my wife, Lisa, she's like, what? What are you talking about? I'm like, what do you got? It just happened again. She thinks I have a big head because I look like a star. I'm like, well, first of all, he's not really a big star. He had like 4 terrible movies and one that became not a dynasty, but trio or however many
Yeah.
they've made. Yeah.
And didn't he die in the first one?
Oh yeah, I mean, he wasn't in all of them. I'm just saying
Oh,
he was in a
yeah,
movie
yeah.
that became so popular. There's a saga now of
Sure,
it.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. They make costumes for it. Still to this day,
Right.
you
Yeah,
can buy Scream at Spirit Halloween.
exactly right. Maybe I should just wear that ghost face mask to a tournament and be like, all right, here I am.
Yeah, here I am. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that'd be kind of clever. So in the last episode with Washburn, I started a thing where I have the guest a ask a question for the
Yep.
next guest. So his question
Was it
was,
something like, why can't I beat anybody from Indiana?
it would have been
Possibly.
good. See, that would have been funny. I mean, Robert,
Why
you,
don't you
you
text
you were a
him and
great guest.
say,
You were a great guest. This is a pretty pretty benign question, but I'm going to follow my own rules, and I'm going to ask the question. His question was, "What is your favorite course of all time, and why?"
Oh God,
Oh,
you're
it's
gonna make
making
me
you
think
think.
about
So
that, huh?
good
I'm gonna
job,
go.
Squeaky.
I'm gonna go against the grain. And a lot of people are gonna say that I'm insane, but I really like Sequoia.
Oh,
When I can't even remember what year it was, but that was my first real challenge course, and I really love Sequoia. So when it pops up on like a throwback Thursday, or
sure.
I don't think it's ever been classic course of the week because I don't remember ever playing it multiple times in a week. But if it'll pop up on classic course or a hole here or there will pop up on a Freaky Friday, I love seeing Sequoia. That's always a fun one.
Why would
That
people say you
from
were
a
insane for that? It was a challenging course.
yeah.
Did you ever go for that thin gap? You only went for it once, or you only executed it
I
once?
made it through one time,
No shit.
once out of, I couldn't even tell you, 70, 80 times. I actually stopped going for it unless it was a
It
Freaky
was
Friday and I was
ludicrous.
up one or something. Yeah, it was, pardon my language, it was, a punt hair.
Yeah,
It's a ball and a half width to
that's
get
what you
through.
call Danica Patrick, by the way.
Sounds about right. Sounds about right. See, I've had a few more beers, so now it's flowing. Now I give a shit. Um, but
But yeah, that gap was it's so ridiculous.
typically, no matter what the wind is, then you're high TA wanting it around the fairway and you're bending it down on your second shot for an easy
Yeah, it
eagle. But
was a great hole.
it's not easy eagle, but it's either a moderately difficult eagle or par or bogey at best. So
Yes, yeah. A lot of risk reward, but it's too bad that they didn't make that gap just a little more accessible.
I wish they'd have made it about 2-3 feet, or what perception is 2 or 3 feet versus literally what a ball width or
Yeah,
two balls
yeah,
wide.
yeah,
But but again, I love the course because it makes you think if you're one better, try it. If you're not,
yeah.
fuck it. You're going to the fairway.
When it comes to Golden Tee, what is it that you love most about the game? And just off the top of my head, I think like the competition, the money, the live play, the camaraderie, or the challenge, or obviously there could be combinations, but
Actually, the favorite part of mine is you almost named it last. It's not even the competition anymore. I'm a competitive player, but more so through my kids now. I'm trying to get that bone in my body into them and just play as hard as they can, do their best. I've lived that life. I do Golden Tee now because I have more friends in Golden Tee than I really have in life itself. I've got my soccer crew of 4 or 5 really close friends. I've got my really close family friends. It's 4 guys, 5 or 6 girls, friends of my wife's, friends of ours. Um, the camaraderie of Golden Tee brings me to these tournaments. And that, then after that, if I make some money, great. I bring it home. And like I said earlier, we're putting it into a good investment for family memories and vacations.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's
But
awesome.
yeah, I mean, like I said, when I go to tournaments now, if I don't know you, I'm gonna tap you on the shoulder and introduce myself. Or if I'm in qualifying and say, I hear people on the back of my, because I don't wear earbuds. Well, because you put yours on.
Mhm.
I like to stay completely focused with what's going on around me from a qualifying standpoint, because
Sure.
outside elements don't bother me as much as some others. So
Mhm.
when I hear someone, oh, there's Jade or there's Point Bar, I will immediately turn around, go up and give them a hug and
Who's
ask them
fucking
where they're
talking about me?
from. Right. I'll give them a hug and say, hey, let me finish this round and then let's go do a shot, because I want to know where you're from, how long you've been playing Golden Tee, what can I do to help, who do you want to meet, and we'll walk up there and meet them. I'm that kind of guy.
Yeah,
I'm never, ever, ever, ever going to be mouth. I don't want to be associated with someone that's, bringing people into the game, but I want to make sure that they're going to have a good time and have a good memory of their first tournament. Or if they haven't met some players, let's go meet them and introduce them. Don't be afraid. We're all just people. Some are
yeah,
just better at a video golf game than others.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
in my in
It's
my in my opinion.
yeah. I love live competition, but I also love the fact that it's something I can do by myself
Right.
and still compete, and so I can entertain myself for a long time doing it. Like I mean, everyone knows that I'm a very avid pool player and done it for many, many, many years, but I can't just sit and practice by myself. I tell myself I'm going to, and after about 20 minutes, I'm like, this is fucking ridiculous. You know,
Well, and you have no
I
barometer.
gotta go gamble with someone or play in a
Yeah.
tournament.
With pool,
Uh,
you have no barometer. You don't know how well you're doing against other players. With
yeah,
Golden Tee, it keeps it for you in this digital cloud of scores.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
every day, you know, from a competitive standpoint, let's get back to that because you listed off 5 or 6 priorities that most people would say. Competition isn't my number one by a mile, but do I love the competition? Without question. I
Sure,
love being
yeah.
able to walk in the bar on a Tuesday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and beat Luna and Andy and Chopper and JoJo's now in all the live games because, you know, there's no daily. And Eddie G and, you know, every one of them. About every 6 to 8 rounds, I'll win. And it's fun to
It
see the
feels good.
leaderboard underneath you
Yeah.
with whole outs and points, especially when I beat everybody in points. I'm like, what's my motherfucking name? But it's with Eddie, it's rare. He beats me quite often with the points. But it's no reason that I'm ever going to change my name. It's just everybody knows me as Point Whore. It'd be really hard for me to get off of that.
Yeah,
It'd be like
yeah.
the mouth getting off the mouth. Like, what's he going to go to? You know what I mean? It's like, come on, let's be serious for a second. But yeah, I love the competition. It's not why I do it. The camaraderie is, our group is so tight at main event. It doesn't matter who it is. We love seeing each other. And typically when you walk in the bar, if it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon and you walk in, because when you walk in, it's like a little half wall to our left and the bar's on the right. Well, the machines are way over on the left. So you walk in, you kind of put your head on the wall, you see who's there, you stop at the bar, you get however many shots of how many people are there and you walk over. That's kind of like the main event thing is you start it right. One of my new favorite people, because he's fucking hilarious. But Mike Green Walsh came down, I believe it was 2 years ago, and he won our last gas tournament to get him into Worlds.
Oh,
Well,
nice.
I don't think he knew what he was in for when coming to main event because we kind of ruined his life for the next 3 days. I'm not sure he ate anything that didn't pass right through him for a while because we deliver shots by the tray, and if you're still standing, we haven't done our job by the end of the night, you know. So he makes a lot of jokes, and he put out on Facebook, probably been a few weeks ago now, but he sent out a list for everybody to add to his. Okay, what is the monument? What's our Mount Rushmore of places you need to go see, or what's on the bucket list? What's the bucket list of Golden Tee venues you have to see? And I think he listed ours in the top 4 ones he's been to, but then he listed a bunch that he hasn't been to. Now people have been adding to the list, but I mean, there's a very large amount of people that want to come to if they have not been to main event. Our only holdback, and I don't know if you know this, is we are a smoking venue. So it's a huge negative. It is for me too.
Yeah.
I have never smoked. I don't like smoking. My wife can't
Yeah.
stand like a mom smell like smoke. It's really only bad if I'm there late at night, but it's still worth an opportunity. It's still worth a venture over to do it at least one time.
Am I remembering correctly that you were not at Worlds? Or were you at Worlds?
Was that Worlds
Just
last year?
you don't remember? Did you go to the Palms and play at the Worlds?
Chisholm,
It wasn't that long ago.
Okay. Chisholm, oh no, yeah, Worlds was like a month ago. I was thinking a year ago. Chisholm, I don't know what I had for breakfast yesterday, let alone what I did 12 months ago.
Did I go to Worlds?
I was thinking last year when it was just like walking on the sun when it was like 118 degrees.
Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah.
No, I was not at Worlds this last year. Honestly, I think it was probably because what were the dates on that? I was either at a soccer tournament or I was in Aruba.
It was the weekend before the 4th of July.
Yes. Yeah. I was in Aruba. I was on.
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy.
I was on
what a hard trade-off. What a tough decision. Now, with your big the support that you give your kids in their sports, do they reciprocate when you're on the Golden Tee stream? Or can they back care less?
Jace has actually gotten really into it. So actually, really good, funny story. So we were in we're in Franklin, Tennessee last weekend for a tournament. And in between games, we had like 5 hours off. So we went to this local, probably one of the nicest bars I've ever been in my life. And for me to say that is ridiculous. It's called Neighbors in Franklin, Tennessee. If anybody from Tennessee watches this, they'll attest how unbelievable this bar is. So you walk in, there's, I don't know, 3,000 TVs. We all know it's college football. They were getting some food. There's one lone Golden Tee machine over there. I was like, all right, I'm going to go set a record. So I go over there and play. Well, before I know it, I wasn't teeing off on the second hole. And I got about 11, 13-year-olds standing 5 feet behind me, all whispering and going, your dad's really good, isn't he? So they see my outfit and they're like, oh my God, because I'm pointing, here and there, and
Yeah.
they're all freaking out. So like Jace was I turned around at one point in time and Jace was like, I told you, because they didn't believe that Jace's dad plays really good Golden Tee and goes to these tournaments and makes money until they were actually seeing it in action. So it's kind of cool that he was able to kind of relay that to his buddies, and then they were able to see me play a quick round. But I'll text him when we're at tournaments and say, hey, I'm on the stream, and that brings up another point I was going to remind myself of is I've played really, really well in the last year and a half. So I don't know how they make those decisions, but I've either qualified on the stream or I've been placed on the stream, I don't even 7 or 8 times in my last 15 rounds. So it's fun to be able to kind of say, hey, Jace, turn on TV, or Ayla, turn on. My kids are Ayla and Jace. I say, hey, turn on TV, Dad's on TV, or put on YouTube. Or if they miss it because they're doing something, I'll come home and we'll be able to play back and be like, hey, watch this for a second. So they think it's like this phantom thing that Dad just disappears to and goes and drinks, but it's like there's a purpose there.
I think I know the answer to this because I think it would have been mentioned, but you don't have a home machine?
I do not, actually. That's probably the question I get the most from either people that don't know me and they see me in a bar, like, oh, do you have a home machine? Absolutely not. I really wish my wife was sitting down here listening to me, because I'd have her come get on stream for a second. The reason I don't have a home machine, there's two, actually. I would never be able to say I'm going to the bar to play Golden Tee machine or Golden Tee, because she would say, you have one downstairs, motherfucker. You're not leaving. You're not leaving.
Yep.
There's one downstairs. Number one rule. Number two is the amount of money you can make, I don't think could ever outweigh what you can make in commercial.
Oh, for
now,
sure.
I may be wrong, but Beatty and Bryce and I mean, well, not so much Bailey, but all these guys that have home machines, they're not banging out big checks because the pots aren't there. And with our kickbacks, I'm able to play for free I mean, I haven't paid for Golden Tee in, I don't know, 2011, 2012, probably 13, going on 13 years. So it's just cyclical, how much you build it up, and then when you cash it out, then I'll take some of that money, I'll put $100 back in. Well, then you build it back up with GT cards, the kickback cards, and then you cash it out and do it all over again. I've been doing that for 15 years.
Yeah.
Now 13, 14 years.
I wonder if, and I think I know the answer, but I wonder if there'll ever be a time where they'll do live contests at home. And the only reason I think that they wouldn't would be because you're taking money out of the vendor's pocket. I mean, IT's cut would still be the same if they're still making their 35 cents a game. But
it's probably that's probably going to come down to a state by state situation, just like the laws are now where you can have live gaming. Like Arizona gets screwed out of that. What's the other one?
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense why that's a federal thing. But obviously, I don't worry about things I can't control because I have so many other concerns. But to answer your question, I've never really wanted one at home. If I had one at home, I'm facing the same situation I am if I go there at 11 o'clock to the bar. I'm by myself. It gets monotonous. But now I can't even play competitively for money. So it just doesn't make sense for me to drop. Unless I'm just actually wiping my ass with $100 bills, I will not have one at home. I want to say this was at Worlds last year. So I've been spitballing it around with our guys for a long time. And I got to give credit to Tim. I don't know if it's Juhas. I don't know how you say it.
I think Juhas is the way I've heard it.
I say Juhas. So he's kind of doing it virtually. But again, I'm a camaraderie guy. So I said, you've got the Cade in St. Louis. You've got our massive group in Indianapolis. You've got a really awesome crew in Wisconsin. You've got a little bit larger group in Minnesota. I want to start having a kind of a freeway or a highway competition where we as a group travel to another in-house powercade or bar, whatever, and we do kind of a 3-day competition. And we would maybe 2 days fine. but it's very what's the Ken's is gonna kill me when I can't think of this. Ryder Cup style. Very Ryder Cup style where, day one, everybody plays your own ball and your scores are all ranked. The next day you have a two-man alternating shot. Then you do a four-man pass ball. I think something like that would be pretty awesome. And I want like a 5-foot trophy that has enough plaques for 10 years. And it travels with the team that wins. And you just keep setting up the competitions. Like Indianapolis goes to Wisconsin, then Minnesota comes to us, then we go to St. Louis. Then, you know what I mean? It's a traveling cup style. I think that would be
It's a great idea.
outstanding outside of Peg Tour, but it'd be easy.
The only downside is that the expenses, some guys are not, maybe don't have the time or the finances to.
Hello. But I'm just I've been spitballing it for probably 3 years, and everybody I bring it up to loves the idea. And again, a lot less stress. If you're talking 4 to 6 players per city or town or conglomerate, whatever it might be, maybe you're not even talking about a hotel. You're talking about one Airbnb, or you're staying in CJ's house or Sandmeyer's house, which I've done that. Sure. It's like, you're bunking up because you're there for a purpose. You're there to literally just go from your bunker to the house to the bar to back to bunker, bar, house, back. And then we get in the fucking van and we come home. So other than gas and Taco Bell, what kind of expenses are we talking about here? It'd be fun to sell. So stay tuned. I'm still working out the kinks, but I've got multiple people on board here and in multiple other states. We just got to.
That's awesome.
We're going to iron out the details.
Yeah, just lock it up.
Come here. I want to put you on camera for a second.
Oh, yeah.
I want to be on camera right now. Go ahead. No one's watching right now.
I'm harmless.
Later.
I'm harmless. I can edit it out. It won't be.
I want to ask you one question on camera.
Yeah.
It's telling me no.
Oh. Tell her all the other girls do it.
Well, I've already given you the answer of why I don't have one here, but I wanted you to hear from the boss's mouth. The boss's mouth. But we'll get her out there to a tournament one of these days, one of the close ones to home.
Go give her some rumplements. She'll get on camera.
I promise you'll see the boss McGillem here at a tournament coming to a town near you soon.
Well, we have reached that point that you know and you love, the quick shot turbo seat. All right. Now, I'm sure you're familiar, but I'm going to remind you of the rules. Yeah. So, going to list off some names, and your idea is to not think, just kind of, just throw a one word or a couple word little description. And then after that, we'll go back and discuss what they were. Right. And it can be funny. It can be lovingly, mockingly. Yeah, there you go. All right. In no particular order. All right. Are you ready, Jade?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Mike Kenny.
I'm so sorry about your Bears.
Sorry about your Bears.
I just don't know anything else to say. It's the only thing we talk about because the Bears suck so bad. And he literally hates life because of the Chicago Bears.
Okay, here we go. Andrew Haas.
Monkey on my fucking back.
I'll just write monkey.
Yeah, the monkey I can't get off my back. There you
go. Let's see. All right, Craig Kinsor.
Ooh, mentor.
Very good.
One of my favorite mentors of the game, and just all around good people.
No one taught me no one learned how to play. I learned on my own.
He didn't teach me how to play. He was more of a mentor on how to be at the game and with the people in the game. You know what I
mean? Fair enough. All right, we'll get back to that. All right. Let's see. Ben Venilla.
Ooh, my little buddy. Yeah, what can I shortly? Let's go with my little protege.
All right.
Ben's one of my favorite little buddies that we hang out with tournaments. We'll get back to it.
All right. Paul Luna.
Oh God. Oh God, you would give me Luna. Infinite frustration.
Okay. Infinite frustration. I'm frustrated reading my own handwriting. Bryce Lepic.
Ooh, good one. Oh boy, how do I say this? Can I? My bucket gambler. He'll
Bucket
understand this.
Gambler.
Bucket gambler. Yeah.
Okay. Bucket Gambler.
And if
And
I have to explain it, I will. If not, he'll
yeah,
understand
no,
what it
we
means.
will. No, you're going to. You're going to. First, just one word answer that comes to mind. Danica Patrick.
Uh,
I don't know. I was hoping so much.
you know, if you tell me it's okay, I'll throw it out there.
Yeah, yeah. This is not sponsored by IT and go to channel.
Raging.
They,
You can put
yeah,
raging in there if
okay,
you want.
raging. Okay. And last one, Mike Johnston.
Oh God, I can't give one word answers about MJ. God, you would put me on the spot there. We have so many different layers here. Yeah, give me the Jeopardy song. I'm gonna say,
Boom,
is this a word? Infinitesimal? No, that's not right. This,
infinitesimal.
infinitesimal friend. Damn it. Jesus Christ. We for fraternity brothers, we're friends. We battle, we drink. Jesus.
Infinitesimal
Infinitesimal friendship. There you go. Just make it up.
friendship. Okay,
Infinitesimal
all right,
friendship.
I love it. All right,
There's enough rumplements that word makes sense at the moment.
friendship. Well, congratulations, Jade. You survived the quick shot turbo seat. Right on. All
I don't know
right,
if I
let's go
passed
through
or not,
these.
but I survived it. All
Yeah.
right.
Let's see. Mike Kenny. Sorry about your Bears.
Yeah, I mean, Mike Kinney is the mopiest person I've ever met.
Really?
The Bears, literally the Bears allow him to live this just miserable life. It ruins his life on any given. The text messages we get on a Sunday, like we have to put out safety feelers. We call people and say, "Can we get a safety check on Mike Kinney?" I'm not kidding you. Swear to God, right hand to God.
What's gonna happen?
He'll say something like, "I can't hate life anymore because of a Bears game." I'm like, dude, it's really not that serious.
Does he go to games?
When he can. I know he was at this one because the Bears were in town for Indianapolis this weekend.
Uh
So,
but
yeah,
so he lives in Indianapolis, but
yeah.
yeah.
He's just the most ridiculous Bears fan to the point where it ruins his life. And it's almost, it's comical for us because of how ridiculous it is, the level it is. And then he's older than me. He's got to be fit, early 50s, late 40s. I don't even know how old he is, but it ruins his life to see the Bears suck so bad. So it's like he's Eeyore. That's what I should have said. He's Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh.
Well, on the
sadness of Eeyore. That's what he is.
On the flip side of that, when they're doing well and make the play, is he elevated or is it
I don't
still
know.
pessimistic?
I was 6 the last time the Bears were any good, so I don't know. I didn't know him then. I really can't. The Bears.
Are you a Colts fan?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I figured. How did you feel about?
We have our own woes, so it's like I don't feel sorry for you. We suck too. Like,
how did you feel? Do you have ill leftover feelings for Peyton leaving, or were you like, oh, he's such a good guy?
He had to do what he had to do, and he's still the martyr of NFL in Indianapolis. I mean, he's literally left in a sculpture downtown in front of the statue. When he comes here for the Ring of Honor, when he comes here for his teammates' Ring of Honor ceremonies or the NFL Hall of Fame ceremonies, they love him here. He literally bought the Children's Hospital. It's literally called the Peyton Manning Children's Hospital here.
It's awesome.
This was awesome. After he left and went to Denver.
Yeah.
No, that man will never be hated. It wasn't his decision. We decided to move on to Andrew Luck, and because we had his issues with his neck. So
yeah. Peyton seems like one of those guys that I can just imagine that like I actually want to be friends with. Like I think I know what he is like off camera. Right. That's probably maybe he kills kittens. I don't know, but he just seems like he's very genuine and funny.
I was sadly never able to meet him. We didn't have the same circle of friends. I was more in the racing and the basketball crew, not the NFL crew as much with all my contacts. But same. It would have been awesome to at least meet him, shake his hand.
Okay, next one is Andy Haas. You said monkey on your back.
I can't beat that motherfucker.
Who can besides Al Zarrell?
So I had a
How's
really
Earl?
bad, I had a bad image of Andy the day I met him because that was
It's
the
rough.
day I played Johnny D in that final. And he was so drunk and really obnoxious and kind of rude right next to me while I'm on camera trying to focus. And I just thought, man, who the fuck is this little man? Because he's half my size. Well, I didn't really know who Andy Haas was until weeks, months, years later. But as I got to become more of a name on the tour and showing up at tournaments, he became very, very respectful of me. Like he'll come up and say, "Hey, how's it going?" When I beat him in St. Louis most recently, he walked up to me. Actually I was pretty close to you. We were sitting at tables together. It was 4 tables are sitting next to each other. You and I were sitting there, and I was just having a beer. And he walked over, tapped me on the shoulder. He goes, "I think you got me, bud." I was like, "What?" I didn't know what he was talking about because I had no idea where the scores were. Because I don't
Yeah.
pay attention to that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So we've definitely turned the corner. We're very, very cordial with each other. I enjoy playing him because it is competitive. I'm still a little shaky because I know it's more on me to not make mistakes than it
Mhm.
is to make that mistake.
Yeah.
Uh, but I've been leading him twice in, I don't know, the 6 matches I think we played. I just can't pull it off. And
Yeah.
then I had this monumental opportunity to go up two on a course. If I get to this hole up two, then it's just muscle memory. It's just tee green, tee
Yeah.
green. There's not a lot of hole out opportunities. And,
Yeah.
I let that go. And then they ended up beating me by 5 because I just fell apart, didn't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, he's literally that monkey. I can't get off my back. But one
Yeah.
of these days, he knows I'm coming for him.
Yeah.
And just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Luna, I mean, I was 0 for 7 against Luna, and I beat him. Uh, Andy's next. Andy's next on my headboard, so to speak.
You
That
heard it
notch
here
on the headboard.
first, folks.
That's right. Well, I told him. I'm sure I told him when I've been drinking.
All right. Next one. We got Greg Kinsler. You said mentor.
Yeah, it's like I said, I'll never forget when I met him and Bacon. Literally within 8 seconds of walking in this front door, they're sitting at the bar, and I walk up, put my card down just to order a drink, and they're like, "Hey, man, you here for the Golden Tee Tournament?" I was like, "Yeah." Introduced themselves, and we've been friends literally since that day. I mean, he's the guy that comes up and gives me a hug, asks me how to do him, and he plays under my operator, even though he's in Chicago. I know Jason has a machine up there, 4 pins.
Mm.
They were like in each other's weddings. They go way, way,
Oh, no
way
shit.
back. So that's why he was in town for this tournament. Um, he's just a really positive guy. He's been to
That was
several
awesome.
tournaments, and I know Courtney, his wife. He's just a really good person. He supports our group immensely, and when I see him, he's always the first one to be happy to come see his indie guys, and that just means a lot to me.
Yeah. I've hung out with him a number of
And like I
times
said,
away from
mentor may
Golden
not
Tee.
be the
Yeah,
right
and
word
he's
because he doesn't give me
very
any
good.
feedback on the Golden Tee front. Just almost like a life mentor. He's just a good person that introduced himself to somebody he'd never met or seen before, and it's one of those that you'll never forget. And then
Yeah.
after the
Yeah.
fact, knowing that, oh my God, he's a 2-time world champion and this and that, I had no
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
He was just a guy
Yeah.
sitting there and having a beer with me, getting to know me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 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 Super
I
cool
thought
guy.
I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, super cool guy and funny and shit. Yeah. Nothing.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know anyone that has anything bad to say about him. That's for sure. Bryce Lepic, and
Oh,
you
yeah.
wrote something that
My
I can't.
bucket
Oh,
buddy.
something. What'd you say? You said something.
Oh,
Gambler.
Bucket
Bucket
Gambler, I
Gambler.
think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can't read my writing.
So Bryce and I are very, very close. We text each other shit all the time and updates and all kinds of stuff about what's going on with the crew. He has this weird, I don't know, not mantra about him, but he has this weird stigma. There you go. It's a better word. He has this stigma about him. So I'll get to the bar at noon, and he'd been there since 11:30. Well, he'll drink Diet Coke or water for 5, 6, 8, 10 games. I'll get there and beat him for 2 games, and he gets really pissed off. So he orders a bucket of beer. Within one half of one fucking 12-ounce beer, he will go 2 or 3 better and absolutely just beat my dick in the dirt. And then it doesn't stop. As soon as he gets a bucket of beer or a shot, he's a whole nother player. It's like he's sadistic after he gets a beer going, and it's just bam, bam, bam. He chushes, he click chips, he holes out without being warranted to do so. It's fucking ridiculous. So if I only gamble with him up until he gets a bucket of beer, then I call off the dogs because he's a fucking animal. He starts drinking.
Well, does he do the secret during tourney?
No, because attorneys we start drinking as soon as we walk in the door. I think he doesn't have that element of surprise on these players like he does with me, Dick. But yeah, I mean, if you ask him, it will literally be 25 of the last 30 times we've played together that it is exactly the way I just laid out. It's unbelievable. I mean,
Well, does he have a ceiling though, where all of a sudden it goes to like
Oh,
one
absolutely.
too many
Oh,
beers?
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
If he's 2 buckets in, 3 shots, it goes awry, and he'll go right back to us shooting 22s again. But wait,
That was a great quote. Is that holing out on holes that aren't warranted to do so?
yeah, I was just like, what the fuck? What's happening right now? Like A1 from 340 off the wall, it goes in. I'm like, what? I mean, what are you gonna do? I'm like, this is bullshit. So I mean, as soon as the bucket hits the table, he'll be in half a beer in. He'll hole out, and he'll just look because all of our 3 machines are right next to each other, and he'll just look at me like he'll just do something like that just to piss me off, or he'll hit a replay and send it to me or something. It's like, motherfucker, I'm standing right next to you. Fuck off. So, so yeah,
What
he's the bucket gambler for me.
next we got Paul Luna. You said infinite frustration.
Uh, he is the frustrating one because he's so freaking good. But when you're playing 60 rounds a day versus a guy that plays, you know, 40 rounds a week, 50 rounds a week, the level of expectation to beat him is going to be pretty small. The first time I beat him was in Florida last year when I got 3rd place. And he even stood there when I beat him, and he was like, he was a little floored by the fact that I beat him, and I was not sober. So he was just like a little stunned.
Yeah.
But again, it was one of those that I just played my game, and he was the one making the mistakes. I just played a clean game, and he made the mistakes.
Yeah.
So I finally got him off the bag, but I'm like, cumulative 1-8 against Luna. Probably Luna just took me out of the last tournament when I got 5th. So
No.
yeah, I mean, you play Luna and Andy Haas back to back. What do you expect?
Not to win.
Right.
Me.
Yeah.
I don't
I
expect to
think I
win.
lost to Luna by maybe a stroke. I mean, it was not near as bad as Haas. But I played him on Cumberland. I can't remember what I played Luna on, but by that time I was so deflated. I was like, fuck. I know on 5-6 at worst, I'm having a good day. Let's just see what happens. And that when I don't care,
absolutely.
I just free flowed through it, and it was fine. Lost by 1. I was like, nah, shit, almost made my way back. But no, it's frustrating not because of Luna. I love Luna, and he always comes up and gives me a hug, and he is very, very close friends with Jason Elliott, which kind of made us close in not so much proximity, but conversations, and we're hanging out. And then sadly, when we lost Mart, I had reached out to Luna because we'd already been texting at that point in time. But I made a point to go see Luna right after it happened, after that first tournament. And I pulled him aside, and I just had a long conversation with him. And after that, he kept coming to me and said, man, it really meant a lot for you to do that. We're friends on a very good level.
Sure.
I just don't have it game-wise on his knee.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Just
He's a competitive juggernaut.
Correct. So that's why it's the infinite frustration.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. Okay. We got Ben Vania, protege. Man, that guy has improved a lot in the last. So you're saying it's thanks to you?
No. That was a lack of a better word, but I hang out with Ben and Jesse a lot now at tournaments. I love those guys. They've become good friends. They're starting to come down to Indy. They actually came down on GT Christmas Day just to hang out with us because we got it early, week or two before they got it. So they drove all the way down here, stayed at CJ's house across the street, and hung out with us for 2.5 days.
Nice.
So we've adopted him into the main event crew, kind of the Fisher's crew, because he's close enough and he likes to come down and hang out with us, and we love hanging out with him at the tournaments. Protege is a bad word. I just, little buddy is a little negative because he's much smaller, but I just love hanging out with him, and he is doing so much better, and it's a matter of time before he starts making some runs.
Yeah, like a year and a half ago, he was a shortstop. Shortstop's a term in pool that's been kind of like, someone who's really into the game, but
Right.
you're gonna take their money. And now it's like if I draw him, I'm like, well, I better play good or he's
Right.
gonna win.
You better
Yeah.
not have too many before you start teeing up because he will surprise you. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm very happy for him at with the way he's been playing. So, not because he's from Indiana. Honestly, 3 months ago, I probably would have forgotten he's from Indiana. Just we hang out in tournaments, but now he's starting to come down and hang out with us, which is great.
Yeah. That's awesome. Let's see. This will be we already covered this, but the next to last one was Danica Patrick, and it says
Move on.
raging.
The raging would be would be my priority word there. Not the cunt, but the raging
So,
would be.
that story, like the only thing it was missing was a recording, not a recording of you telling me the story, a recording of
it
you
actually happening?
interacting. Yes,
Right.
yeah, that would have been
Just-
fantastic.
It's just baffling to me how people treat others when you don't know them. It's like, she looked 2 feet up to me, but yet she looked down at me like I
Down
was
at you,
bug
yeah.
under her shoe. I'm like, and I'm literally with her teammate. I'm not just some random fan. And I didn't want an autograph. I didn't ask for a picture. I was just literally standing there. And she
Yeah.
walks out and she's like, who's this? Like, I was in her way because I was hanging out under her, not even under her, but I'm in their little arty canopy thing.
Yeah, yeah.
It was wild. I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah. You drive a race car. Like what?
You turn left for a living. Big deal. I have bigger tits than you do. What are you gonna say? So
who did she date that was famous? For a while.
several of the drivers.
There was someone outside of NASCAR, I believe.
Oh, Aaron Rodgers.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
After the race car drivers, it was Aaron Rodgers for quite a while, probably a year or so.
How is that guy not married? Is he not married?
No. But again, one point being is that ended badly because she is a what?
Raging cunt.
Amen.
I learned from the best.
Right on cue. Right on cue.
Sorry, Mom, if you're watching this. Oh, no.
Yeah.
She
She
swears
blame me, that's
these
fine.
days. I don't know if she goes to that level of swearing, but
She can blame me. This fine.
yeah, okay, fair enough. All right,
Here's our
and the last one we got Mike Johnston. No, this is a infinitesimal friendship.
Yeah, MJ and I have been friends a long time. He was a Delt at IU. I was a Delt at Ball State. I'm 5 years older than he is, but we have a lot of the same friends because of the bar business. So we actually knew each other from the bar business slightly before Golden Tee. But when the Golden Tee name started getting out, we recognized that and we started seeing each other. We played a few times, and then we were at that Greenwood Southern Indianapolis tournament together where I met Kins and Bacon, and we became we did partners, I think blind draw partners on Saturday night. So learned a lot from him. And then from then we just became kind of Golden Tee friends. But now we do golf outings together. We travel together. We go, we go out to eat together. We not only tournaments, we stay at Airbnbs together. He and Bailey and Dwight and MJ are about the closest friends I have in the group because we see each other the most often. We're very much alike. We like the same things. He's just a really, really good guy deep down. And I know if I'm having a bad day, I can call him and we can take this shit to 3 o'clock in the morning with screwball, rumplements, you name it. It will go down.
Awesome.
We just have to wrap our phones in bubble wrap, make sure our wallets are secured, and make sure we have Ubers everywhere we go, and we'll be home safely eventually.
Fantastic. All right. Well, before we wrap this up, it is time for you to, and just kind of putting you on the spot, but to come up with a question for a future guest to be unnamed.
Do we know who it's going to be yet, or
don't know yet?
We don't even know.
But it doesn't have to be. His Washburn's was very Golden Tee related. It could be.
Right.
I mean, anything you can come up with
related, but kind of Golden Tee related.
It could be something, funny or something.
You know what? I'm going to go on the
person.
same realm of mine because I remember the very first or the best stories I have from my first tournaments. Now there's multiple, so I'm going to relay this.
Okay.
What was your first tournament and what was your best experience at said tournament?
Ah, yes.
Whether that be
First.
from
Yeah.
meeting someone, a game, a win, or if you want to have the best steak dinner at night with 10 people. I don't care what it is. What's your first tournament and
That's
what
a
was the
great
best
one.
experience there? Because
That's a
that's not
great
really
one.
GT related, but again, my number one priority has always been camaraderie. And this, I mean, this cult that's growing exponentially, this group of friends, this community is everything to a lot of people. It's a big
Yeah.
part of my life,
Yeah.
even though I can't be present at it as much as I would like, but I have higher priorities, even though they're much shorter. You know what I mean?
Sure.
You
Yeah.
get my
Yeah.
point. But at every tournament, there's going to be that one experience or that one memory or that one picture, that one conversation you take away that you'll never forget. And let's see what they say about that.
Well, I will say that when I see the list of when the let me rephrase that. Every time I'm going to a power events and I check the list to see who's going, um, when I scale through and I see your name and I see it on there, I get it bumps up my what are those things? Your what's
The
what's
emotions are,
that
yeah,
pheromone thing that comes
yeah,
out
yeah,
that
yeah.
makes you
You're
when
right.
you
You're right.
feel good, like the
Serotonin.
drugs give you.
The
Yeah, there you go.
serotonin.
That.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it jumps up a level. And when I see you're not going to be there, it makes me sad. But
I appreciate it, man. Like I
yeah,
said,
you're a cool motherfucker.
but that's kind of what I mean, I want everybody to think that they're going to have a good time if I'm around. And if you're
Yeah,
not, then I want you to address it with
go
me.
fuck
Like, you had a
yourself.
bad time or
You're
a
a
bad
cunt. You're a
experience. Let me
raging
know.
cunt.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to be that. I know I'm a lot. I'm loud. I'm boisterous, and I'm energetic. Like me and Paul Taylor probably aren't going to sit around the same table for hours at a time. But we do have fun and we gamble a lot together. So it's just, little bits and pieces of each other were great.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, same thing, man. I love you and our friendship and the time we've had from qualifying to laughing and every time I
Hell
get to
yeah.
come get to hug,
Nothing
man.
but
So I
laughs.
appreciate you having me on. It's an
Oh
honor.
yeah, yeah. I had a blast, and you will be missed at the Clash. But hey, fingers crossed that see you in Dallas.
I promise I will be there as soon as I can, and I will miss everybody. Love you.
All right, love you too. Peace out there, everyone.
See you, brother.
Thanks.